came as a bit of a surprise to me, and I think it did to you as well. July 24th, 1999, winning the Continental title.
I almost forgot.
Well, there goes my question about how do you feel when you
Well, I tell you what, my mom had to remind me that it's been a year that I've been retired because I lost track. She goes, it's been a year today. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't have remembered the date, but I do remember that. It was funny because last night I threw the first pitch out of the Jays game, and I threw a strike. But where they took me down into the locker rooms is where I walked down after I won that title. And as I was walking down the stairs, it was like the stairs that I walked down, that night, unexpected to me. Having just won my first championship in the WWE. So it's things like that I'll remember. I don't necessarily remember dates, but I remember that stairway. Just things that kind of special to you that no one else would really know about.
I'm sure winning every title, gives you a certain feeling of satisfaction that you made winning that IC title for the first time, and that.
I still hadn't thought of me sort of interrupted, but I knew I was a long way from making it, and that's one of the things that I pretty quickly wrapped my mind around. It wasn't. I always assumed that getting to the WWE would be the hard part, and that everything else would be kind of easier from there. But that was in hindsight the easy part was making it to the top. That was so much harder than just getting there. You've got to have a different mindset to make it to the top.
You talked about that in the DVD that just came out. Which you guys, if you haven't picked it up yet, it's really fantastic, and no one's telling me to say that. It's really, really good. And if you are an Edge fan, you have to check it out because it's pretty revealing.
Well, the thing about it is I've never had a documentary done before. They just did the match compilation, the Decade of Decadence thing, and that was in character. It was just me, acting like an idiot in between, wearing my Chuck Taylors, throwing matches and stuff. Which I still have on, by the way. But this one was fun because, they asked me if I wanted to do it, and I said, yeah, if I get to tell you who I want on it. I want William Regal on it. I want Matt Striker on it. I want Zack Ryder and Kurt Hopkins on it. I want my buddy Mike Conrad from college. I want Keith Assoon, who I trained with. Rob Echeverry, who I trained with. I wanted people, no offense to them, but I didn't want the Brooklyn Brawler on there. I love Steve, but it's like you could tell that they would always just go with okay, these guys are good for interviews. They've got good sound bites. It's like, no, I want the guys that know me and came up and know the history of it. So hands-on with that and everything. There's still the cheesy music bands that they play when it cuts back to where I'm living now and everything.
I found this very stirring.
That was the only part I was like, oh, come on, not the narrator guy who you can tell has never watched wrestling. He's like, and then it was a seamless transition from singles to tag team. It's like, no, you have no idea what you're talking about. You just need a script right now. Those are the only two things that bother me. But, and I'm not just trying to sell the Blu-ray, probably the best thing, I was telling some people on the line, my favorite part, possibly my entire career, is on the Blu-ray, the extra of my dogs. It was the most fun thing for me to watch back. I saw that in the Blu-ray and I was like, oh, awesome, because that's the closest to Adam Copeland that you actually get to anything that's been on the DVD.
You're talking about people that you wanted on the DVD. Obviously, Christian is there and he plays a big part of it. Some of the VIPs sent in questions way in advance. One of them, Eleanor Miller, she wanted to ask them, you and Christian have such great chemistry as tag team partners. Whose decision was it to break you up as tag team partners, and why, and are they going to be close friends?
I hate them. It's a lifelong affair, for lack of a better term. That didn't come out right. We're attached to him for life. We're lifelong best friends, and always will be. When it came to the the actual tag team, Eleanor. Yes, you got the lucky cupcake. Yeah. There we go. We both decided we didn't want to stay together after we'd already started to go down the roller coaster hill. We want fond memories for people, like when they think of Edge and Christian, they go, man, those guys were fun. They were good. And that's what I always get. I never get, yeah, maybe people just don't want to say it to my face, but, you know, I think people have fond memories of it, and I think it's because we didn't stick around too long, like there was never any kind of incarnation of it or anything. It's like, when you think of the Midnight Express, there's so many different incarnations and so many, it's like, we just wanted it. Edge and Christian, we're at the top, and now it's time to go our separate ways while we're at the top.
Another fan question that came in comes from Rabia. I've been a huge Edge head ever since I was 10. The first time I saw you wrestle live was in 2000.
From Pakistan.
I'm not sure.
Pakistan, I just met her like 10 minutes ago.
Is she here?
She maybe shouldn't make it down yet, but she was like the last one in line almost.
It's still a good question.
All right.
After your neck injury, I felt like you moved to take risks, like you used to, but with that match, the TLC match,
which TLC? I'm sorry.
TLC, 2006.
Okay.
You took some pretty nasty balls. What made you decide to physically exert yourself as much as you did for that particular match? Because we could tell that you could use physical toll on you at certain points in the match.
Well, I'm pretty much an idiot, so there's that aspect of it. But, and I'm extremely stubborn, you know, but to me, you know, it was Toronto. You know, you come back to main event your hometown, you're the world heavyweight champion. You know, you're against the top babyface in the company, and I knew it wasn't going to be that way that night. But I also wanted to show what John could do. Because he gets underrated a lot for what he can actually do in the ring. And I really wanted to take that opportunity, that whole feud with him. I wanted to show people like what he had, and I made him dip into it more. You know, he had it, he just didn't know he had it. So I was like, no, you can do it, just drop off the ladder. He was like, man, I'm afraid of heights. So you got it. And he did. It hurt, but he did it. You know, and just when it came crunch time, I never really, you know, on the DVD, Batista, you know, was like, man, he'll take any risk. And I'm not trying to say I'm a miracle, but I really would. I didn't even think about it. Mind you, that's probably when I'm retired at 38. Oh.
But you know, you didn't.
Rusty retired at 38. This is great.
Who retired at 38?
Rusty.
I'll take that.
You seem content.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, an important thing, because, you know, guys who don't necessarily, I know it was on your turn, but you guys who, you know, retire and then keep coming back, the option is there, but you seem okay with it.
Yeah, you know, and this is not a slight or a knock to anyone, but I never wanted to be a guy that was in my 50s doing it. I didn't. I never wanted to be the guy that went, you know, picking young name, like if you worked at the sheet, and no, I'm from a young guy's perspective. If they saw that they had to wrestle me, and they went, I didn't want to get to that point. You know, I wanted it to be where, you know, you remembered once again, like with Christian and I as a tag, you split it up with people have fond memories. It just ended up with due to injury. I was still at my peak, especially mentally. Physically, my body wasn't quite keeping up with what my mind was telling me, but I felt like near the end I was probably the best that I was, or I was going to get, you know, and got to wrestle some young guys like Ziggler and, you know, Alberto. And although it's weird, because Alberto was like 3 years younger than me. And like all the guys that are supposed to be young guys are like, like 4 years younger than me. But I'm this somehow 20-year veteran. It's weird because those guys are pretty much the same age as me. It's kind of crazy.
Another VIP question that came from Sandra Miller, and she wants to know if you could come do that match.
Not personally. It would have to be personal. And you know, if you ask me, I could still do that. But, you know, it's the option's not in my hands. And to their credit, the WWE won't allow it. That's one of the misconceptions. I think people thought I chose to retire. And while I'm content with it, I just would have kept going, not even really thinking anything of it. But, you know, I got a call and they said, I don't know how to tell you this, but your career's done. And it's, you got no option. We won't allow you to wrestle anymore. Which strangely made it all easier. And I think that added to the contentment. But I also, too, mentally was preparing myself. Here's the thing, and I've said this repeatedly over the years. I've always maintained the fact that I'm Adam. I'm not Edge. If you see me, you know, tonight at 11 o'clock, I'm going to introduce myself as Adam. It's not going to be Edge. I don't want to.
Party in your room.
I don't have parties in my room. Oh, so you're a guy with a huge white beard. Anybody else in here, I would have taken it from. Like, you look like my grandpa. You're a handsome fella. But that's, I just, you know, I think because I always try to maintain that, that it really, I don't need to be first in line to get into a concert. I don't need top tickets. Whatever, you know. So I think when you don't need to be that character, you know, here's one, and I'm sorry I'm getting diarrhea of the mouth, but one thing that I've always found that can be difficult possibly for guys, and someone said flair, I mean, okay, I get it. But here's the thing. When you play a character for 30 years, it's easy to become that character. I mean, you don't go up to Johnny Depp and say, hey, Jack Sparrow. Right? You say, hey, Johnny Depp, wow. You look to Ric Flair, you say, hey, there's Ric Flair. So it's a tough kind of bridge to gap, possibly. I've never had a problem.